Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a lifestyle that has really been taking off lately. It's called minimalism, and it's all built on this simple but honestly pretty powerful idea that having less can actually lead to more happiness. So how does that work? Let's get into it. So, let's just start with a huge question. For as long as most of us can remember, we've been told that success is all about what you own, right? The bigger house, the newer car. But is that actually true? I mean, have you ever bought something you've been wanting for ages? You get that little rush of excitement, but then it just fades. And pretty soon you're already thinking about the next thing? Well, you're not alone. That's the exact cycle that a lot of people have been starting to question. And it's really no wonder we feel that way. We are just surrounded by noise all the time. Think about it. Every single day, advertisements, social media influencers, and the latest trends have been telling us that we need that new phone. We need those clothes. We need to upgrade. This constant pressure to just get more and more creates a ton of stress, and it pulls our focus away from the things that might actually bring us some real lasting peace. But what if there's a totally different way to live? That's what brings us to minimalism. It's really all about hitting the reset button and redefining what happiness actually means. So let's take a closer look at what this is all about. Okay, so the first thing to get straight is that minimalism is not about depriving yourself or living in some cold, empty room. Not at all. It's about being intentional. It's a conscious choice to say, you know what? I'm going to clear out all the excess stuff in my life so I can actually make room for what truly matters to me. It's about you choosing where your focus goes instead of letting your possessions decide for you. And this really shows you the two completely different mindsets side by side. Over here, you've got consumerism, which is basically an endless race for more stuff. It's exhausting. And then on the other side, you have intentional living. The goal there isn't to just accumulate things, but to create space. Yeah, space in your home, for sure. But maybe more importantly, space in your mind and in your calendar for the people and activities that genuinely make your life better. And you know, this quote really just hits the nail on the head. The person who wrote this had been feeling totally overwhelmed and distracted for months. But once they started actually letting go of the things they didn't need, the change wasn't just on the outside. The real transformation happened inside. They felt this incredible sense of calm and clarity that they just hadn't felt in years. Okay, so that's the big idea. But what does this shift actually look like in your daily life? What happens when you start living with less? Let's dig into the real, tangible benefits. What's so interesting is how all of these benefits are connected. It's like a chain reaction. When you've been buying less stuff, you've obviously been saving more money. Simple. And with a less cluttered home, your stress levels go down because there's just less to clean, organize, and worry about. This frees up so much time for your family, your friends, your hobbies, and as a result, people find they start feeling way more grateful for the things they already have. It becomes this amazing positive feedback loop. This chart is a great way to see what happens. It shows how a minimalist's resources, we're talking time, energy, and money, get shifted around. You can see the focus moves away from just buying new possessions and instead gets invested in things like experiences, relationships, building up savings, and pursuing hobbies. Again, it's not about having nothing. It's about having enough to live a really full and meaningful life. This quote from Anna, a teacher, is just so powerful. Her apartment had apparently gotten so full of things that she just couldn't relax. She felt trapped. But after she simplified and let a lot of it go, she had this amazing realization. She hadn't sacrificed a single thing that was actually valuable to her. All she lost was the clutter, the physical and the mental stuff that had been blocking her from actually being happy. And look, this idea isn't just about the stuff in your closet or your garage. In our world today, our digital lives have often become just as cluttered, if not more. So, digital minimalism is about taking that same intentional approach to our technology, our phones, our apps, our endless social media feeds, to cut through all that constant noise and distraction. I mean, just take the story of Mark, a graphic designer. Before he tried this, he had been spending up to 8 hours a day glued to his phone. He felt completely exhausted and unmotivated. After embracing digital minimalism, he's been checking his phone just 3 times a day. And the result? His focus is back, his creativity has returned, he didn't become anti-technology, he just learned how to be in control of it instead of letting it control him. Okay, so this all probably sounds pretty good, right? But the big question is, where in the world do you even start? Let's get practical and talk about how you can actually begin your own journey to a simpler life. For most people, the very first step is decluttering. And let's be honest, this can be really emotional. We attach so many memories and feelings to our stuff. But here's a really important shift in thinking. Our memories are inside of us, in our hearts and our minds, not in the objects themselves. Letting go of an object doesn't mean you're letting go of the memory. To make this whole process way easier, here are 3 simple but super powerful questions you can ask yourself for every single item you're not sure about. 1. Have I used this in the last year? Be honest. 2. Does this item genuinely make me happy or serve a real purpose? And 3. Do I truly, actually need it? If the answer to those questions is no, well, it might be time to let it go. The most important thing to remember here is that you do not have to do everything at once. This is not a race, and there's no finish line. Just start small. Seriously, pick one drawer or one shelf. Ask yourself those key questions. Donate what you don't need. And then you can start extending that same simple idea to your daily schedule, like learning to say no sometimes. Every single small step really does matter. So, we'll end with this thought. Minimalism isn't really about what you lose. It's all about what you gain. You gain space, you gain time, you gain freedom and clarity. It's about clearing away the things that don't matter so you can finally focus on the things that do. So maybe ask yourself this. What's just one thing you've been holding on to, whether it's an object, a commitment, or even a habit, that you can let go of today to make a little more room to actually live?